Purdue taking on Michigan, and that'll be a 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Michigan. The Wolverines are -5 total at 130. We saw a half a point move toward Michigan and a 3.5 point move upward on the total. The Wolverines open 4.5 up to -5. Total open 126.5 up to 130. 68% are leaning Michigan, 53% shaded toward the over. And right now Purdue is plus $1.85 on the money line. Now Purdue's 3-2 straight up in their last 5 victories against Minnesota, Northwestern, and Virginia within their last 10 games. They rank in the top 15 in the nation in points allowed. They also rank in the top 30 in defending the 3-ball. Matt Harms is averaging 12 points a game, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks. Jihad Proctor, 11 points a game, 3 rebounds. Jihad Proctor from, I think he's from Harrisburg, PA. But anyway, Eric Hunter, 11 points a game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. We're looking at a Purdue squad who, defensively is holding their opponents to just 39% from the field. They're also, holding their opponents to just 28% from downtown. They rank the top 40 in road offensive rebounding, top 25 in points allowed on the road, and defensively, they're giving up just 59 points per contest. Now, Michigan on the other side, losers in 3 out of their last 5. They're also just 3-4 against the spread in their last 7. Isaiah Livers still out indefinitely for the Wolverines. Michigan 5-4 to the under in their last 9. Purdue 6-1 to the under away from home. I'm going to lean Purdue +5 and the under 130 in that matchup. Next game, Washington taking on Stanford, 9 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that game. The Cardinal are -2.5, total at 131 and a hook. We saw a half a point move towards Stanford and movement upward on the total. The Cardinal open as the 2-point favorite, up to -2.5. Total open 131, up to 131 and a hook. 53% are leaning Stanford, 74% shaded toward the under. Right now, Washington is plus $1.25 on the money line. Now, Washington is giving up just 63 points per contest. They also rank in the top 10 in defensive field goal percentage. We're looking at 36% in that category there. Isaiah Stewart, he's averaging 20 points a game, 9 rebounds, 2 blocks. Jaden McDaniels, 13 points a game, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks. And Naziah, I forgot his last name, but Naziah, 13 points a game, 6 rebounds for him. We're looking at a Washington team who ranks in the top 35 in offensive field goal percentage, top 15 in the nation in road offensive rebounding. And of course, defensively, they're holding their opponents to just 36% shooting from the field. So let's try that again. Washington, when they're on the road, they're holding their opponents to just 36% from the field. And of course, they are 7-3 straight up in their last 10. Now, total-wise, Stanford on the other side, 80% to the under at home, 9-1 to the under in their last 10. I'm going to lean Washington +3 after buying the hook and the under 131.5 in that game. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines of personal leans out for Thursday's college basketball action. Happy Thursday, guys. The weekend is almost here. Now, before we go ahead and dive into some more college basketball picks, I just want to quickly remind you once again to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where once again we do daily premium sports picks on that website beginning at just $1.99 per month. We also have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. You may be wondering, well, why would you buy a package when Brock just gives out all the picks for free on YouTube? And that's a great thought. That's a great question. What we do here on YouTube is we pretty much handicap every single game on the board, both the side and the total. And the problem with that is if you were to bet every single game on the board, side, and total with your hard-earned money in real life, it's a losing formula. It is not a winning formula for success. It's too many games. The math is really dreadfully against you. And the books are way too smart. They're way too sharp. You just can't throw darts like that. So what we do on Patreon is we really narrow it down and focus in on 3 to 4 premium selections per day. They're high percentage selections, games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much, my current record on Patreon, even though we're in a little bit of a downswing, it's still a whole lot better than it is on YouTube, handicapping every single game, throwing darts, side and total. So if you want to check out my current record, you can do that for free right now. All you have to do is click the link in the description section below. Once again, that is patreon.com/BrockPage. All right, let's go ahead and dive into some more free lines and personal leans right here on YouTube. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, We've got Arizona taking on Oregon, 9 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that contest. Oregon is minus 3.5, total at 143. We saw a half a point move toward the Ducks and movement downward on the total. Oregon opened as the 3-point favorite, up to minus 3.5. Total open 144, down to 143. 69% are leaning Oregon, 51% shaded toward the under. Right now, Arizona's plus $1.55 on the money line. Now, Arizona's just 2-3 straight up in their last 5. They're also covering just 30% of their games in their last 10. Oregon, on the other side, they rank in the top 40 in the country in scoring, top 10 in offensive three-point percentage. They're averaging 79 points per contest. They're also shooting 49% from the field. Peyton Pritchard, 19 points a game, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals. Chris Duarte, 12 points a game, 5 rebounds. Offensively, we're looking at an Oregon team who's shooting 40% from downtown. They also rank in the top 35 in defensive field goal percentage as well. Now, total-wise, Oregon's 80% to the over in their last 10. I'm going to purchase the half a point, slide it down, and take Oregon Ducks minus 3 and the over 143 in that contest. Next game, Minnesota taking on Sparty, 9 o'clock Michigan State. Sparty's the 12-point favorite, total at 145. We saw a half a point move toward Michigan State and movement downward on the total. Sparty opened 11.5 up to minus 12. Total open 146 down to 145. 63% are leaning Michigan State, 59% shaded toward the over. Right now, Minnesota's plus $6 on the money line. Minnesota, pretty good covering team. 10-4 against the spread in their last 14. 4-1 ATS in their last 5. They have successful point spread covers over the likes of Purdue, Oklahoma State, Ohio State, and Clemson. Minnesota ranks in the top 35 in offensive rebounding. They're averaging 75 points per contest. Daniel Oturu, 19 points a game, 12 rebounds, 3 blocks. Marcus Carr, 16 points a game, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. And Gabe Koster, 13 points a game on average for the Golden Gophers. Minnesota's allowing just 66 points per contest, and they rank in the top 35 in offensive rebounding on the road. Now, total-wise, Sparty on the other side, 6-2 to the over at home, 70% to the over in their last 10. I'm going to lean Minnesota plus 12 and the over 145 in that game. Next and final matchup for the show, it is going to be Arizona State, Oregon State, 11 o'clock Eastern tip-off. The Beavers are the 5-point favorite, total at 144. We saw a half a point move toward Oregon State and movement upward on the total. The Beavers open 4.5 up to minus 5. Total open 142 up to 144. 62% are leaning Oregon State. 57% shaded toward the under. Right now, Arizona State is plus $1.80 on the money line. Now, the Sun Devils really struggling to cover this point spread. They failed to cover in their last 4 straight. They're also just 2-7 against the spread in their last 9. They failed to cover against the likes of Texas Southern, Prairie View, UL Lafayette, the Raging Cajuns, and Princeton. They're shooting just 42% from the field, 29% from downtown. They're also averaging just 67 points per contest on the road, and they're shooting just 40% from the field when traveling. Now, Oregon State, on the other side, they're averaging 78 points per contest. They also rank in the top 20 in the country in offensive field goal percentage. Winners in 8 out of their last 10 games, 70% against the spread in those 10. Tress Tinkle, 20 points a game, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals for Tinkle. Ethan Thompson, 16 points a game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. And Kyler Kelly, 11 points a game, 5 rebounds for the Beavers. And speaking of the Beavers, they are shooting 50% from the field on their home court. They're also shooting 41% from downtown on their home court as well. Now, total-wise, Oregon State 4-0 to the over in their last 4, 5-2 to the over at home. I'm going to lean Oregon State minus 5 and the over 144 in that game. All right, let's go ahead and dive into our quick pick recap. Once again, brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we are 4-1 in our last 5 crowd pleaser teasers on that website. I like Oregon State minus 5 over 144, Minnesota plus 12 over 145, Oregon minus 3 over 143, Washington plus 3 under 131.5, Purdue plus 5 under 130, and last but certainly not least, I like Memphis plus 6 and the over 142 in that game. All right, let's go ahead and dive into some shout-outs. Got to show some love to Donna Thomas, New Era 1, Stephen Miller, Dominique Hughes, Dion Hallman, Vernon Willard, Ant Ruga, Andres Mendez, Dan Tomaselli, Penny Kemp, CQP Underboss, Andrew Stirrup, And last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to the Frozen Gamer. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Once again, don't forget to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where once again, we are 4-1 in our last 5 teaser picks on that site. We're also 8-3 in our last 11 teasers on that site as well. We do daily premium picks on that site, beginning at just $1.99 per month. We have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. And of course, you may be wondering, well, like I said earlier, why would I pay for picks when you just gave them to me for free? Well, that's a great thought. That's a great question. What we do here on YouTube is we handicap every single game on the board, both the side and the total. And the problem is with that, if you were to bet every single game, side and total, with your hard-earned money, you're guaranteed to lose. I mean, you're going to lose in the long run, and you're probably going to end up losing in the short run. That's really a lot of money. That's not proper bankroll management there. The books are way too smart. They're way too sharp, and the math is really, really dreadfully against you when you bet every single game on the board. So what we do on Patreon is we really narrow it down and focus in on 3 to 4 premium selections per day. They're games that I personally have action on, high percentage selections. And I'll tell you this much, my current record on Patreon is a whole lot better than it is throwing darts on YouTube, handicapping every single game on the board. Now you can check out my current record for free right now. All you have to do is click the link in the description section below. Once again, that is patreon.com/BrockPage. And we're just going to finish out with another quick pick recap. I like Oregon State -5 over 144, Minnesota +12 over 145, Oregon -3 over 143, Washington +3 under 131.5, Purdue +5 under 130, and last but certainly not least, I like Memphis +6 and the over 142 in that game.